I'm an ex-Mormon from St. Louis, Missouri, and some of you might be wondering, how did I end up in a cult? My parents were not Mormon, but my boyfriend was. So let's talk a little bit about how well I brainwashed myself. Starting off with number one, I got married when I was 18. This wasn't necessarily a Mormon thing for me, although I had joined the church when I was 17, but I wasn't super practicing. I just believed in it, but my then husband and I weren't practicing Mormons, so we didn't get married in the temple or anything like that. But I was 18, and I just thought that's what you do. We're going to blame that on growing up in the Bible Belt area, abstinence-only education, and just being taught in general that was my role as a woman. Then we know what comes next. I got pregnant and had a baby. I am 19 in this picture. Very glad I have her, though. But I just thought this was super normal. 19, having babies. When our daughter was 5 weeks old, we started going to church every single Sunday to start brainwashing ourselves so that we could get sealed in the temple as a family. So let's take a look at how I kept myself brainwashed in St. Louis, Missouri, and kept my mind so small. I made sure I always read my scriptures. This picture was actually before my child was born, and right here is one of my first pieces of in-the-home brainwashing. It's like a little tile, and it says something about being in the temple and families are forever on it. You can see it a little bit closer. It says the temple in the middle. My kiddo's a little older. Let's look at the bookshelf. We've got hymn books. Up here, we've got all of our Ensign magazines. We've got our scriptures on these shelves. There's an article of faith up here on our front door because we were memorizing our articles of faith. You can see Old Testament stories book in my daughter's bedroom. We've got the picture of the temple and a picture of Jesus in every room. Wanted to brainwash my child early, so of course we have the young woman's motto on the wall. I started homeschooling my child so that we could make sure she was also fully brainwashed. This family thing, we made it a church event because every activity was a church event. This is my swimsuit. Yeah, full thing, the whole thing. I was so orthodox by this point. Being in a bikini or a one piece was too revealing for me. I wanted it to cover my shoulders to my knees. El Libro de Mormon, a Book of Mormon in Spanish. I think I had that just in case I ever came across a Spanish-speaking person who needed to learn the Book of Mormon. I was prepared. There's my temple tile in our new house. The brainwashing traveled with us throughout our lives. When we would go on vacations or travel anywhere, we would stop at all the temples in our way. And of course, touch the temple and find the cornerstone. Here's another one. Another one. There's me watching General Conference and taking notes. Of course, always took notes. Touching the cornerstone. This picture's kind of silly because we were trying to move a mattress down our stairs. But as I was homeschooling my daughter, I used this program at one point. And all of these pictures along the wall are part of this timeline, all about creationism. I was all in, teaching her how the world was created by God, and Jesus was in this picture, part of history, everything had to do with Jesus. Every Christmas we hosted the missionaries. Every Christmas I would make sure we had the missionaries over for Christmas. We would feed them a meal, give them some presents, stuff like that. It was our family tradition. This is me out of the country, visiting my family across the world, on the other side of the world, still going to church, just at a local congregation. This is the Hawaii temple that we made sure to touch. This is my daughter writing out Henry B. Eyring. He was the first counselor in the presidency. This is laminated, by the way. I took this out of a magazine and laminated it. This is another little trip we went on to go visit a visitor center. Watch my daughter get fully brainwashed here. One of the jails, Liberty Jail, we went to visit. All the time our vacations had to be Mormon themed. Touch the temple. Touch the temple. There's a temple right there. We made this at a little Relief Society event. I won this free piece of jewelry, and I got to put whatever quote I wanted on it. Of course, I put, "Never postpone a prompting." Me and my ex at the temple. LuLaRoe. I don't have to say anything more than that. My daughter playing the piano. Of course, we have some ensigns up here, scriptures up here. Everything in our life revolves around our faith. You can see a little quote of the week or day over here. It's John something. Teaching my daughter creationism. To be fair, I didn't actually believe that dinosaurs didn't exist. These did teach that dinosaurs didn't exist. I would have her skip those sections. My daughter has some CTR rings because, of course, on a trip, we got to stop at a Deseret Book-owned store. Very exciting. Got to buy so many Mormon things. This was my profile picture on Facebook for a while. You guys, the way that I brainwashed myself is so crazy because how did I grow up with the internet and never just do any research? You know what I mean? Like, what in the world? Thank God for the internet because I have learned so much now. I just wish I had done just like the smallest amount of Googling back then because I was a Mormon, a dedicated Mormon for 10 years. And that's how I kept myself brainwashed in Missouri.